In my last tutorial, we have started working on this event management system. So what I have covered? So we have covered the backend applications, the Spring Boot applications, where we defined all the APIs. If I show you that these are the APIs, we have created two controllers. One is the user controller, another one is the event controller. And where we have defining all the possible APIs which are basically we are going to connect from the front end. So now in this tutorial I am going to cover that designing of the front end, where basically we are going to give some menus like login, then registration, logout, creating the event, display all the events, and the event single event. So those things I am going to cover in this tutorial. So for that we need to start with like creating the components and all, and also we need to add those menus over here. So how we are going to creating those things? So like we can add those menus in the app dot here in this HTML file over here. So let me add those menus over here first. Then we are going to create those like what we can say, like we can create those component over there. Okay, so if we talked about this designing and all, okay, so here basically we need to add, so here we need to add this menus design. So what menus we are going to give over here? Like one, home menus that we can give, then login, register, events, create event, and the logout, right? So once we are going to the clicking on the login, then it will be going to the login page, and once we are clicking on the register, then it will be going to the register page. So for navigations of the link, we have used this router link. So for that, as we are using this router link, this register, events, and the create event, so in this app component ts file, basically we need to add this router outlet, router link, and common module we need to add. Okay, so this is this router outlet, link active, and the common module. So here now like this HTML file is done. Now what next we need to do? Next, in the configurations file, so here if you see, so here we have added this HTTP client, because here we are going to add those kind of like while we are going to call those backend APIs, like while let's say we are doing the login applications. Okay, so once participant do the login after putting the username and password over there, then once the submit button getting called, then actually we are going to call the backend API. So how we are going to call that API? So for that we need the HTTP. So this is the thing that we need to, that's why we have added this one. Next is the router. Router means once this login is clicked, then it will basically redirect to the which component, that definitions we have defining in this route. So here we need to defining all the route details. So here we need to, let me add the route things over here. Okay, so here basically if you see that this component will be event list component, then if it is a only event, then event detail component. If it is a create event, then event create component. If it is a register, then register component. If it is a login, then login component. Also we can defining the auth guard, so that I will come later. For the time being I can delete this, like why this auth guard is needed. Okay, so next basically we need to open the terminal and we need to create those component over here like this. Here we need to create one component folder. So let me create this one, components. Okay, here we need to create this event list component, event detail component, event create component, register, and the login. So first of all, let add this login component. So what we are going to like add this for the login. So for this login, basically here if you see that we have created this form. Here this login, actually it will on the submit it will call this login button. Here also we have added some kind of the form validations, like if this username field will be empty, then we are going to display these error messages like username is required. and also we have added some kind of the CSS. Here also password field, like this password should be, first of all it will be like is required, mandatory, and the other one is the minimum length. So if you see over here, there's two type of validations we have added over here. One is the required, that is the mandatory, and another one is the minimum length. Minimum length means if we put the password less than 6, then it will give that message that password must be at least 6 character long. Okay, so once it will be disabled till the form is valid. Form is not valid, then it will be disable the button, this login button. Means suppose we are not putting the valid value over here, until then the login button will be disabled. Here also, from here also user can navigate to the register form. Like if suppose the participant doesn't have this like this username created into the database, then they can register themselves so that they can do login. Okay, and here if you see that we have added some CSS over here. So HTML is done, and the TypeScript file, if you see that in the login button we are like we need to call this user service, which is basically responsible to uh, fetch the user by username, and then we are comparing the password. That also you can do in the backend, but here I'm doing once if it is success, then we can say the login is successful. If it is successful, then we are storing that is authenticated things in a local storage so that we can use it in the later on. I will show you that where we are going to means we are using. If the login is successful, then it will be, we are going to redirect to the events where user can display all the events. So let me create one services folder. Here basically we are going to use this user service, which will basically some of the methods like this create user by username if we want to get all user, and the delete user. Okay, here also we need to create one folder where actually we need to keep all the models like user models and the this another model we need, which is the this event model. Basically if you see, we are going to keep this ID, name, location, and the date. Okay, another model we need, which is the user. Okay, where actually ID, name, password, confirm password, and role for the timing is not needed, but we are keeping this over here. Okay, so we need to add another service. Need to import this. Okay, okay, okay. So next actually basically we need to create all the component over here, like this event create, event detail, event list, register. So these are the things we need to create over here. Okay, and this one is not needed over here. Okay, let me add this component. Register component and this login component. Okay, next so if we means that means once is the login is done, then we are going to this page, this event list component. Okay, and here basically we are going to, if you see this ng-onIt method, it will basically fetch all the events from the database and display in the okay, we need to add this event service actually. Under this service folder we need to add this event service. Okay, it's also having like this. This is the path of this API. Here we are calling this get all the events, get event by ID, create if we want to create event, update event, and the delete event. So these are the basic APIs that we have added over here. Okay. So now we need to event list is done. Next is the event this is the event detail. So for that we are showing the details over here, like event name, then location, and the date. Okay. And if we see the TypeScript file in the ng-onit file, we have used this event service dot get event by ID, right? And here the ID actually basically passing in the parameter, and from here we are getting the ID like using this dot root dot snapshot dot param map, and based on this ID we are taking this ID and we are passing over here. If we want to create this one, so for that this form is here, like event name, location, and the date. In the TypeScript file, if you see that here basically once we create this event, then we are just passing those details over here, like this is the event ID, location, and the date, and this actually DTO we are passing over here. This is the registration page, like username, password, confirm password. Okay, these three fields we are going to keep over here, and also we have added these validations, like if this confirm field is invalid or these are not touched, then saying this one. If user password and the confirm password are not matched, then also we are showing that password do not match. Okay, so these are the basic things that added over here. Okay, so now what we can do, we can just start this application. Okay, let it start ng serve. It will take some time to first time build. Okay, we need to add this logout functionalities in the app component ts file. Okay, so for that there is one auth service we need to create, which will basically having login and the logout related feature. So let me add this auth service over here. So if you see that we have added this logout functionalities over here, and the it's logged in or not, that is also we have added here. So how you are checking this one, like we have just checked to local storage, and we are getting this one. If it is a true, that means it's logged in, and if it is a logout, then we are removing item from the local storage. Okay, so now in the app component ts file we need to add this feature, that logout, in the app component ts file. So here basically we are going to, so here we need to, in the constructor we need to add this, we need to use this auth service and router. Okay, okay, so now looks everything is okay now. Okay, now you can see the compilation is gone now. Now if we open that one in the browser, so you can see that, let me open the F12. Okay, if you see that all the menus are coming, right? That login, then register, then events, currently don't have any events, create event, it's all the things are coming, right? And the logout also. But like consider one scenario, means now I am going to explain that what is the feature of the auth guard, right? So that actually I am going to explain over here now. So now actually if we talked about the auth guard, like why we need this auth guard, like before here if you see that all the menus come over here, like the login, register, events, create events, and all logout. But assume one thing, means we are not doing login, but before login also we are able to see those events, right, at a time. even log out also, because we did not do any login but still log out button is showing create events. So if we want to allow this particular menus will come only if the login is already done, then only we are going to display these three menus: events, create events, and the logout. Register can be visible before login also, right? Even if you see that here also you can go to the register page, and from the register page also we can come over here login page, right? So for displaying that when we are going to display this particular menus or not, for that we need to add some kind of the auth guard in the place of the router. Okay, so for that, here basically in the where we are defining this route, like this page only we are going to go if there is only login is successful. Even that particular things also we are defining over here, this one. So for that we need to create one auth guard service. So how it will be look like, let me show you. So it will be something like that. Here we are going to use this auth service and the router. So let's say in the auth service class already we are having this is logged in, right? So if this logged in is successfully, then only it will be returned true, else it will be returned false and it will be navigate to the login page. So in the auth service already is logged in there. How it is taking means while we are doing the login, then we are setting the is authenticate is true, right? Means if the login is successful, then only we are setting that is authenticate is true, and is logged in is checking that particular parameter from the local storage if it is true or not. If it is true, means it's a logged in, and based on this flag, actually in the auth guard service it's checking that it can activate it or not. Okay, and this can activate it we are going to use in the routing layer and as well as the uh, like in the menu section. So here we need to add this auth guard. How we are going to use this auth guard over here? Like we can use that can activate auth guard. So it actually basically checking this one. Okay, so here this method basically we need to add. Okay, we need to import this auth guard. Okay, so now we need to copy for all the places, like here, because this event it will be activate after the login, right? Same for this one also, similar kind of thing, create event also, right? Okay, that registration and login, these are basically before authentications also it will be visible. In the app component TypeScript file or the HTML file, basically there also we need to like add this one, means we need to add some condition, like where basically we need to display all the menus. So in the HTML file, let's say that home page when it will be actually enable if the login is not success. So how we are going to check this one? So in the, let's say home page always will be visible, right? But login will be only enable if the login is not done, right? Similar kind of thing, the registration also it will be when it will be enabled if the login is not done yet. But this events only visible if the is logged in, right? If it is a logged in is true, then only it will be enabled. That's why you're putting condition ng if. Same for this one also, but logout also it will be enabled or visible after the if it is a logged in. Now if we see from the over here, if you see that only login, registration and the home page is visible, right? So in this way we can implement this auth guard into our existing project. Next we are going to create the user and do login and create some event over there. So if you open the database basically, so if you see that, so we don't have any user for the currently, right? So we need to create some user. So how we are going to create that user? From the registration, basically we can create the user. Let's say the user is the demo, password is so 123456, but if we put something, then the messages are coming that this is not valid, right? So those kind of validations we have added over here. Now if it is matched, then once we clicked on the register, then if you see in the login page, we can see that message that registration successful, please log in, right? And also if you see that over here, the response is coming. So how these things is coming basically? So for that, in the registration page, once this will be success, the create user, then here actually we are passing, means we are navigating to the login page. With that we are adding some state if the registration is true. Okay, in the login page, basically from the state, if you see over here in the ts file, in the ng on it, if the history.state is true, then we are saying that registration success is true. Initially it is false, then it's true. And in the login page template, if you see this div, if this is success, then only we are showing this message, right? So in this way, basically this message is coming over here. So now here, using the created user, we can do login. So if we provide the wrong password, or maybe if it is a less than 6 character, then it's showing that password must be at least 6 character long. Okay, now if we do login, it's login failed. In the console if you see. Now if we put the valid password, now after the login we can see that events, create event on the logout, as we don't have any event created till now, so that's why the page is coming as empty. Now if we click on the event name here, like let's say event 1, location let's say India, and date should be some let's say anything. Okay, now if we create the event, so you can see this event got created over here. Even here if you see also it's navigate to the over here. So how this actually is happening, in the event page, event create page over here. So once the create event is success, then it will basically redirect to the event page. Once it will come to over here, the event page, then it's actually it's fetching the data from the over here. In the event list basically is coming. So here if you see, it's actually fetching all the events. So that's why this data coming over here. Next, if we want to see the details, then it's actually single event, get events by ID. This actually API is getting called and we can see the details. Next, again if we click to the create again, so let's say need to give the name, let's say India. Again we can put some name. Okay, so now these two event got created. We can create multiple event basically. Okay, we can create multiple event over here and all the events are showing over here, right? Okay, all the events coming over here. Now if we clicked on the logout, then it will be redirect to the login page, and also it will clear the session items. So now again we can do login. Okay, you can show over here, it can come over here, and then if we click the view, then it will display the event details. So this is actually about all the things. Now just to summarize what we have done over here, we have did the login feature, registration feature. We have also implemented the auth guard so that without login they are not able to access the other menus items like event create, event details, and the event view, right? So we can implement the, that's why we have and also implement those auth guard for multiple menus. And we have created multiple component. One is the event create, event detail, event list, login, and the registration. And also we have created the models like event, user. We have created multiple services, like one of these services is the user service where we need to call the user related APIs, and we have created another services, event service, which will call basically event related APIs. And also we have added the CSS over here for each pages, like if you open the each pages, for each pages we have added the CSS over here just to look the font wise is better. Means like look wise, if we need to like see, so that's why like we need to add those CSS over here, correct? So this is actually all about this one. If you guys have anything, please do let me know in the comment section. I will definitely try to figure it out. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. Please press the bell icon for further notification. Thanks for your time. See you in my next videos. Bye bye.